Hello everybody and welcome back to the F1 2021 Co-op Career Mode Season 5 with me, Dan, and not my co-commentator Nick for today, with our graphics templates provided by Matt Amos and Lom1138 as usual. It's been a couple of weeks since our last race. We were off with my girlfriend having COVID, so I was looking after her for a week. Then I went away to Cornwall for a little bit and decided to take a second week off just to have a break from F1. Nick is still ongoing on that break. The question is, will he return, or has he sadly decided to leave the sport entirely? We'll have to see in future episodes. Anyway, in the meantime, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and comment down below what your highlight of the Grand Prix was. As we move on to the starting grid order for the first race since coming back, it's Pierre Gasly, of course, alongside George Russell in the sister team. Then we have Lando Norris alongside Antonio Giovinazzi, a man in the fastest car to not win a race so far. Then it's Lance Stroll lining up alongside Justin Freshpot in the Williams, Charles Leclerc and Daniel Ricciardo in the other Williams in P7 and 8, and Valtteri Bottas and Yuki Tsunoda round out the top 10. And moving on to P11 and 12, we can have Robert Schwartzman in the Alfa Romeo and Carlos Sainz, the first McLaren. Behind them we have Sergio Perez in the first Alpine and Radiant Slothz punching above his weight in P14. Guan Yu Zhou in the other McLaren and Esteban Ocon follow behind them. Then we have Mick Schumacher and Max Verstappen near the bottom of the field, and rounding out the back row it's Nikita Mazepin and Nicholas Latifi. Now let's get on with this race. Well, here we are on the starting grid. It's almost 5 red lights. And away we go. Not that long of a hold for the teams as we get away. Justin Freshpot with a good start, but he's dropped a few positions to his teammate Daniel Ricciardo and Charles Leclerc. Valtteri Bottas also looking to get in there as well. Some action in the background. Nicholas Latifi trying to make it some places. Radiant Slothz going deep up the inside. There goes Justin Freshpot back up ahead of Charles Leclerc again as we jump back to Radiant Slothz, who seems to have a moment. He's battling with his teammate. Nikita Mazepin unsurprisingly drops to the back of the field, and Radiant Slothz with a massive dive bomb up the inside of his teammate, and Mick Schumacher up ahead. Justin Freshpot, massive track extend, cheating once again at this circuit, trying to get past his teammate. Now he's battling alongside Charles Leclerc. Another track extend for Justin Freshpot, a recurring theme for this driver every time we come to this circuit. Behind him, again, Radiant Slothz now chasing down another driver, trying to claw his way back up the field. Clearly lost quite a few positions into turn 1 and 2. So he's looking up the inside of Guan Yu Zhou, a car which is, well, still much faster than him. And up ahead, of course, Nicholas Latifi in the fastest car on the grid, easily carving his way through the field. And Radiant Slothz easily up the inside of Sergio Perez as well. Justin Freshpot experimenting with cheating lines, trying to turn the final 2 corners of Russia into the Parabolica. He's now lining up on his teammate Daniel Ricciardo, who does swipe at him, probably in protest of that illegal move that he just made into the final 2 corners. It's late on the brakes. Justin Freshpot gets past his teammate with a cheeky little corner cut at the end. Now let's go on board for the start. Justin Freshpot, of course, we're expecting him to lose a few positions here. There goes his teammate and Charles Leclerc. Daniel Ricciardo almost binning it into the barrier through that little kink. Officially, turn 1, I would have thought, depending on who you ask. And here we go. This is him following a battle ahead of Ricciardo against an Aston Martin. This was Radiant Slothz, who, well, we know that he lost quite a few positions. He went from 14th down to 19th. There's 2 positions gone already to Guan Yu Zhou and Sergio Perez. Mick Schumacher challenging him. Of course, the Haas is still faster than the Ferrari at this stage. And he makes a late move up the inside. He gets past a few more cars and then just loses the rear as he's trying to get on the power again. Everyone going past him. Dust going everywhere. There's Max Verstappen. And then we'll see this move up the inside. And, well, Mick Schumacher, for some reason, decided to back out of it before Radiant Slothz had even committed, as we return back to Justin Freshpot. for the end of lap 2, going on to lap 3. Let's see how experimental he gets. Yet once again, an even wider line this time, and it gives him a massive advantage. Closing up to the back of Lance Stroll. He's right into the slipstream. DRS is open, and the Williams almost crashes into the back of the Aston Martin. But he's going to easily get past on the straight, up the inside. Job done. Corner cut just for the record as well. And well, now he chases down the other Aston Martin of Antonio Giovinazzi. And we return on board now with Radiant Slothz. He's chasing down Nicholas Latifi, hoping to follow that faster car through the field. See Robert Schwartzman battling with Esteban Ocon at his home Grand Prix. It has compromised all of them. Latifi up the inside of Schwartzman into turn 3. And Radiant Slothz will hope to capitalise on this as well. Esteban Ocon getting in the way. Small track extend for Radiant Slothz, although I'm sure after Justin Freshpot's antics, the stewards will overlook it. Robert Schwartzman nearly crashes into Radiant Slothz there. Still battling with Nicholas Latifi, who's making an absolute meal of getting past this Alfa Romeo. It's going to be 3 wide going into the left-hander. Radiant Slothz backs out of it, nearly rear ends the Alfa Romeo. And amazingly, Nicholas Latifi still not able to get past Robert Schwartzman, who is highly regarded as the worst driver on this grid at the moment. Clearly not at this time, as Nicholas Latifi goes back round. Radiant Slothz up the inside of them both. He's grossly misjudged that. That is a massive lock-up into the side of Nicholas Latifi, taking them both off of the circuit, and now almost back to where they started at the back of the grid. Let's go on board for the replay. This is all the way back from where Robert Schwartzman was defending. He almost crashes into the wall, tucks it up the inside of Latifi, catches him off guard, and then swings it round the outside. Incredible stuff from Robert Schwartzman. Radiant Slothz very lucky not to get tangled up in that mess. And now we follow them down the DRS straight, because Robert Schwartzman has proved his worth, unfortunately, with DRS. It's not meant to be. Latifi gets past. Radiant Slothz dives down the inside and just grossly misjudges the overspeed. Of course, that Ferrari is so slow, he probably wasn't expecting it. Anyway, back on board with Justin Freshpot coming into the final 2 corners once again. I think we can probably imagine what's going to happen here. There it is. Parabolica line through the final corner, and massive advantage gained over Antonio Giovinazzi. So we won't be surprised when we see him easily get past. And up ahead it is, 3 of the Red Bull drivers, Lando Norris and George Russell, and then of course Pierre Gasly in the sister team. Currently leading, but only by just over half a second, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. The lead could change hands at any time. Radiant Slothz chases down his teammate Mick Schumacher. Nicholas Latifi way at the back for some reason. And oh my god, there's been a massive accident there. That's not good. Oh, Nikita Mazepin crashes into Radiant Slothz for no apparent reason. What the hell was going on there? Max Verstappen, yep, spins. Schumacher brakes. Slothz could not stop the car in time and backs into Nikita Mazepin, who just loses both of his wheels.
Box.
In comes Justin Freshpot as the safety car is deployed. As a time penalty for Radiant Slothz, a 10-second time penalty. A savage penalty, if you ask me. Apparently for causing multiple collisions. Well, unfortunately, when you get put in a situation like that and the car in front of you does slam on the brakes,
Box.
there's not a huge amount you can do, and well, maybe he could have avoided the collision with Nikita Mazepin, but let's face it, he probably deserved it, as we see an unsafe release from the Williams box, something that they've got a history of doing, as he crashes into a Red Bull, continues on his way. Radiant Slothz serves his 5-second penalty, gets held up by his teammates slightly. The front wing completely disappearing from the... Oh, I am mistaken. It is in fact back, and they put a second one on over the top, just in case the other one falls off. Radiant Slothz will join at the back of the grid. And here we are. at the restart. Safety car in this lap. Gasly goes early. Russell follows him. Justin Freshbot caught napping, although he is going to take the slightly scummy line through the final 2 corners. He chases down George Russell. Lando Norris gets held up in the pit lane, so he will be a little bit further back. And, well, Justin Freshbot already massively behind, and this is not going to be helping his championship efforts. Massive corner cut, unsurprising from the Williams driver. Nowhere near the back of the Red Bull. And, well, here we go. Oh, Radiant Slothz is getting somewhere. He's alongside his teammate Max Verstappen, or at least trying to be. Tucks it down the inside. Somehow keeps it in a straight line. He does have some major damage to that car. The rear wing, the side pods, and the floor all sustaining heavy damage in the accident with Mazepin. So he'll be challenging to keep that in a straight line. A very large track extend from Justin Freshbot, quite deservingly gives him a 3-second penalty for multiple incursions of the track limits. He doesn't care anyway. He's going to tuck up into the slipstream of Russell, throws it down the inside, and now it's just Pierre Gasly up ahead. Corner cut just for good measure. And, well, a track which Justin Freshbot does favour quite well, given the opportunities to exercise poetic license with the track limit. Radiant Slothz coming up to something very familiar, a Haas, Nicholas Latifi, and an Alpine. Nicholas Latifi gets boxed in by Schumacher, goes up the inside. Is he going to get there? He's just about there. Schumacher throws it off onto the curb. Blocks Radiant Slothz. Latifi's through. Mick Schumacher's hit the Ferrari. Oh, and he's spun him round into the barrier. He's just about missed. Radiant Slothz fuming at what's just happened there. He spins his car around. He's going to carry on his way in at last position. This is the on-board. See Schumacher throws it out onto the curb. He doesn't really have much of a choice. Blocks Radiant Slothz and then cuts across in the braking zone, breaking the front wing of the Ferrari and causing him to fall into a spin. Back on board with Justin Freshbot. Is he going to cheat his way into first position? It's highly likely. Don't think DRS is active just yet. Well, there's the track extend. Despite the penalty, he is still going to behave in this manner. It does help him a little bit. He has gained a couple of attempts there. DRS open. Slipstream very powerful down this straight. He's going to look up the inside, late on the brakes, up the inside of Gasly, smashes him off of the circuit, and he's gotten past with, well, just over 5 laps to go. Or, sorry, just under 5 laps to go. Pierre Gasly is more than likely capable of sticking within 3 seconds. So Justin Freshbot may not be on the top step of that podium just yet. And in fact, already Gasly is throwing it around the outside, crashes into the wall and Justin Freshbot for good measure, just to make his intentions clear. Probably wasn't necessary given the DRS straight is coming up right now. It would have been better to sit behind him. But, well, that's the decision of the Gasly AI, and that is what he decided to do. So, here we go. Can he make the most of it? Going around the outside of the DRS zone. He does shut it early, as the AI tend to do in the F1 game. And, well, Justin Freshbot sticks ahead of him, although Pierre Gasly behind by just under a half a second. So far, with the 3-second penalty, that will drop Justin Freshbot to around 5th or 6th position, around Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris. I think Valtteri Bottas is just outside that window. Anyway, here we go. Justin Freshbot uses his cheaty line. He gains a few attempts over Gasly, which is now being shrunk down on the DRS straight into the first corner. Actually almost makes the corner there. Incredible stuff from him. Back on board a little bit later on. We got flags waving on the screens around the circuit. Something is afoot at the moment. And, well, the one thing that is afoot right now, Pierre Gasly getting into the lead briefly. He is holding the inside. I saw a car up ahead. I don't know who that was. We'll have to see in a moment. Justin Freshbot still battling with Gasly. Gets past him again. Oh, that is the Ferrari of Radiant Sloths, probably waiting for everyone to go past so he can only do 12 laps of the race and not bother driving that slow-ass Ferrari around for an extra lap. Maybe he's even going to give a tactical DRS advantage to Justin Freshbot. Who knows? They have worked together in the past in some shady dealings. Maybe something's afoot once again. Pierre Gasly, anyway, back within half a second. George Russell also there. Looks to Antonio Giovinazzi has dropped a little bit further back. He may not be able to maintain that 3-second gap to Justin Freshbot to get onto the podium. We'll have to see as Radiant Sloths gets out of the way. And out of nowhere, he's just cut up Pierre Gasly. He has been working with Justin Freshbot, and he is trying to foil the plans of the FIA to stop Justin Freshbot winning in a Williams. He goes round the corner. Oh, he's spun, but he's not caught Pierre Gasly. It's, in fact, one of the other cars. Oh, we've got more Williams cars crashing into this. Daniel Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda have crashed in. We've had a massive accident behind. Oh my God, and Robert Schwartzman gets rear-ended by 2 cars shunted up the grid order. And we've got several retirements there. Multiple cars will be coming into the pit lane at Radiant Sloths. Delighted with his work. He's going to carry on. We've just lost Guan Yu Zhou as well. He's DNF'd in his McLaren. George Russell goes past the lapped Ferrari, but he's hit him and he puts him into the barrier in a swift arm of justice. So now we have lost about 5 cars. This is Valtteri Bottas here coming into the thing. Oh, he gets reversed into by Charles Leclerc, then rear-ended by 2 cars. Unbelievable. So that again there, Fergal punted him onto the runoff area. This is Nicholas Latifi. He was running at the back of the pack, witnessing everybody crashing into this accident, but decides anyway that he will crash in just as well. There goes an Alpine murdering a few people and smoke everywhere. Somebody else rear-ended him, took off their front wing. I think that was Nikita Mazepin. Oh, there was another collision there. And, the cars disappeared left, right and centre. And up ahead, it was not enough. Justin Freshbot, 2.2 seconds ahead of Pierre Gasly. He's going to try the same old trick which got him the penalty in the first place, but it's not enough. And he's had a massive accident into the barriers. Oh, that is unbelievable. He's trying to get his car working and back it up. Oh, and Lando Norris crashes into Justin Freshbot. Once again, these two have a history of crashing into each other on the in-lap at the end of the race. Somehow picks up driver of the day despite the disgusting driving that we've seen. Lando Norris, of course, putting the final nail in the coffin at the end on this race. Absolutely disgraceful display once again from some of these drivers. But, well, there we go. Pierre Gasly picks up a win. And the rest of the disgusting field follow suit behind Justin Freshbot, a prime example of how cheating can get you onto the podium. Unfortunately, though, justice was served and he was not able to get the win. The win, of course, does in fact go to Pierre Gasly, a man who has become very familiar with the top step of this podium. Is he unstoppable? We'll have to see. Lando Norris probably could have given him a run for his money at the end if he hadn't been caught up in the big collision with Radiant Sloths. But, well, maybe it is Pierre Gasly's day and Pierre Gasly's championship. Well, there we have it for the Russian Grand Prix. Of course, we know Pierre Gasly, Justin Freshbot and Lando Norris have picked up a podium. And, well, going on to the rest of the field to see who survived the big accident. We've got Charles Leclerc, Valtteri Bottas, Lance Stroll, George Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi, Carlos Sainz and Yuki Tsunoda. And of course, moving on to the into the Drivers' Championship, we have Pierre Gasly quite clearly ahead of Lando Norris at this stage, quite possibly unbeatable for the end of the season. Behind them we have Antonio Giovinazzi, Lance Stroll, Justin Freshbot, George Russell, Nicholas Latifi, the retired Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, and running out the top 10 is Yuki Tsunoda. Over in the Constructors, it is still AlphaTauri with the lead, ahead of Aston Martin and Red Bull. Then you drop further back to Mercedes, Williams, Alfa Romeo, McLaren, Ferrari, Haas and Alpine. That's all for today. We'll catch you in the next one.